Sheriff of Jackson County, Denny Peyman, was at the public meeting, and he said, look, I would be ashamed if our founders were here who fought so hard and gave so much up so that we would have the birthright of the Second Amendment. I would be ashamed that we're even discussing this. And that's absolutely right. That's the perspective of an informed American. But then you get all these globalists, all these corporate front men up there all over television. I was just back there during the break monitoring CNN, and they're like saying again, we've got to take the handguns too. We got to take everything. We've got mayors and we've got U.S. senators like Chucky Schumer saying we'll just have audits, we'll just harass, we'll just shut down outside of law gun shops unless you only sell single shots. And we have clips of that. We have all these articles up at InfoWars.com right now. Philadelphia mayor declares economic warfare on gun rights, financial terrorism, firearm sellers to be blackmailed into conforming to gun control. I mean, this is just Goodfellas mafia tactics. They want a confrontation. They've been training for it, especially since Obama got in. They've been trying to federalize the police. Police sent us the training manuals, MIAC, Homeland Security, saying gun owners, veterans, conservatives, libertarians, Ron Paul supporters, that we were, quote, terrorist and the #1 terror threat. Remember that 3.5 years ago? Well, now they're just going public with that, and they want this confrontation. Mayor Bloomberg told Obama yesterday, he said, defy Congress. Executive orders, make people turn them in now. And then here is another key report before we go to the sheriff. This is also up at InfoWars.com. Mayor predicts Waco-style standoff in response to Obama gun confiscation. Expressing his opinion to the New York SAFE Act, Gloversville Mayor Dayton King has sensationally warned that any federal gun confiscation program could lead to Waco-style standoff in rural areas of America. And we're going to be going over that, and I want to get that mayor on ASAP. The point is, there are so many old veterans I know, especially, who understand tyranny, and they are not giving up their birthright. And again, most police chiefs and people are constitutionalists. They're good men and women. But a lot of them, the state police and others, were going to follow orders, and it is going to cause a civil war. I had Ron Paul on last week, outgoing congressman. He said, yeah, it's the line in the sand. He said, undoubtedly, he knows they're going to start raising taxes and things, too. There's going to be tax rebellions. And he said, when they come for the guns, it's going to kick off a war. And they're going to call us terrorists, okay? Now, me, I'm not here saying I'm offensively going to do anything. I'm a radio talk show host. I'm not trying to be macho. I don't want a war, but I'm telling you something. They're going to start it, and we're going to finish it. That's where this is going. And I want to take you now to Jackson County Sheriff Denny Peyman. He was the first sheriff. Now it is dozens of them. Rand Paul vows to torpedo Obama executive orders. So we're going to fight peacefully. They know we're going to beat them peacefully. That's why they're trying to say we're just going to go shut things down if we feel like it. Lawlessly. I mean, this government is crazy. These so-called liberals are a bunch of authoritarian freaks. I've studied history. They did this in Russia and Germany, in fact. The Germans did this to the Jews in their businesses. Just outside of law, started harassing them. And folks, I mean, this is not going to go well. Many more sheriffs vow not to enforce federal gun laws. Oregon law enforcers lead national fight against Obama gun grab. We've got Texas sheriffs doing it. We've got congressmen from Texas saying they're going to start impeachment. I had Toth on yesterday, the state rep. And the legislature's racing. He's talking to the attorney general. They're going to pass laws saying you can't do that in Texas. And that's constitutional. So I'm going to move now to Jackson County Sheriff Denny Peyman. I wanted to give him that briefing. I know he's probably aware of all this, and talk to him because he's the first to go public. And, sir, why were you the first to stand up from the great state of Kentucky and all 50 states and say that you're not going to be involved in gun confiscation?
Because it dealt with my county. It dealt with the people that I have swore to protect. It was, you know, it's when I first got word of it, a friend of mine came in and showed me what Obama would say and what he had said. And he said, man, what would you say to that? And I said, we're not going to do it. He said, would you say that public? And I said, yeah. I said, I believe that. We're going to stand by that. I'm not going to disarm my people because they need these guns for protection, because it is their Second Amendment right to have guns. And I'm not going to have, you know, the government come in and tell us, no, you're not. And so that's where it started.
Can you elaborate, because it's very touching? It sounds like you're about to break down, but you controlled yourself. When you talked about the Founding Fathers, it sounds like you know about that history a little bit. Can you repeat what you said to your constituents?
Yes, I stood there, yes, and this is an emotional topic for me because of the price that other people paid that we take for granted to flippantly talk about these issues when it's something that really doesn't even deserve to be talked about. It should already be taken care of. And it's something that we were in this meeting, and I said that I was embarrassed to have to be at a meeting like that. And I was ashamed if our forefathers were to be able to see and to hear what we were talking about and what the government is doing now. You know, how would they feel knowing what the price that they paid that we could have this freedom and how we were just letting the government, which they designed the Constitution for us. They designed the Second Amendment for us to protect us. And we sit back and just let them push back and mold that however they want. That's like taking the Bible, and let's just say either you believe it or you don't, but let's say you take it and you mold it to suit you, and that's usually what people do. That's the same thing they're doing with the Constitution. They're just going to mold that, they're going to tweak that, they're going to use it other than what it was meant for to suit their purposes, their desires to the direction that they want it to go.
I know you've seen the FBI crime statistics that are gathered from local communities, some of the most accurate government statistics out there. 21% violent crime reduction the last 16 years. Most of that dropped since 2007. And then I saw the number at FBI.gov of, in the last 20 years, a 49% drop in crimes using firearms. Anybody can go look these numbers up. And what's amazing is that the mainstream media will not talk about that, and they don't want the big secret that as gun ownership has skyrocketed, violent crime has gone down because criminals are scared to death to home invade or carjack now, except in areas run by these big city mayors where they've taken the guns.
That's exactly right. And that's what I've told people, and that's what, as we talk here, I mean, we live in a rural area, and sometimes it's 30, 45 minutes before I can respond to somebody on our north end of our county. But they're calling me, and they're talking on a cell phone, and, how can I disarm somebody when I tell them I'm 30 minutes away, and there's two guys kicking their front door 2 o'clock in the morning, they just woke out of a sleep, and they're depending on me to get there while these guys are coming into their house. I would much rather them have a handgun, a weapon of some kind, not necessarily a handgun. It could be an AK-47. I really don't care, as long as they can protect what's theirs and protect themselves. And, what's happening right now is, all they've done is just paint this a different color. All they've done is to crack the door a little bit to see what they can push through later. They've crammed these apples down our throat. Now they won't go, so now they're going to paint them. They're going to put something else on them, some caramel, and try to cram them again. And that's what the people, I can only speak for the people in my county and the people I'm responsible for. Half our county are better, packs guns daily. We don't have shootings and stuff here. We had a shooting here not long ago where a guy was stealing a guy's stuff and he shot him. We've had other people that were shot, but we don't have guys go kicking doors on people they know are armed.
Well, that's right. In fact, where I live in Austin, the only place that you see people getting robbed is mainly the illegal immigrant communities, because folks know they're likely to not have guns, and so the criminals feed on them. I mean, home invasions, I've seen the national crime maps. I know you've seen them. It's almost non-existent carjackings, home invasions. People don't walk up in Texas, in most areas, try to rob somebody in a shopping market parking lot, because most folks are packing a gun in their purse, even if it's a woman. And then I read about Chicago and New York. Chicago, 530-something deaths last year of citizens being fed on, and they have a total gun ban for the citizens in the city and wonder why every criminal in the country goes there, because it's their happy hunting ground.
Yeah, it's free food there, It's a free lunch. And that's like here or anywhere else, just like in the shooting inside the theater. What if everybody was armed in there? Do you think the guy would have come in? No. And if he would have come in, how many would he have got? I'm pushing here to arm our teachers, because if I'm sitting at the bottom of the hill, which from our high school, and they call me and says, Denny, he's coming in the room. I've got 30 seconds to get up there, get in the room. He's already killed 30 students. But if I have a teacher up there, he walks through the door, he could take him out as he walks through the door. How many people are going to be doing school shootings? They're not, because there's no glory in just getting shot walking in. What they glory in is how many they left dead.
Well, we need to profile these people. I've done a study of it, and I know police have as well. Almost every shooter, Harris, Klebold, the Batman guy was into the occult, the guy that killed his mom with a hammer and then got the illegal AR-15 because he was a felon. Why was he out of jail? He was a devil worshiper. Lanza was reportedly a Satanist. That's mainstream news. They are goth. I'm not saying all goths are bad. The point is they are goth, Satanist, into shoot-'em-up video games who are in the psychiatric system on psychotropic drugs in almost every case. I mean, the drug insert, Sheriff, says it can make you do this. Why didn't Obama mention not putting unstable people on Prozac?
Exactly. They don't, they don't want it. Just like if there is a shooting, just like the shooting in West Virginia that was big, was blown up. They don't talk about the shooting where a guy came on and only shot 2 people, and then they go back and check these guys as to why they were doing it in the first place and find out that they were raised in these video games that desensitize them to that. So when they're in that shooting mode, they're just playing another game.
It's incredible. I want to bring up what the mayor was talking about. I read you that headline here. Mayor predicts Waco-style standoff in response to Obama gun confiscation. I mean, they knew when they put all these psychiatric drugs in schools and then made them victim disarmament zones, there'd be shootings. This stuff didn't go on until the 80s and 90s. Even though overall crime's going down, violent crime, this is going up because the media hypes it. There's mentally ill people. There's these video game head Satanists. This is really cool and fun for them to go and do this. What do you think is going to happen, Sheriff? And again, the sheriff from Jackson County, Kentucky, Denny Peyman joins us. What do you think is going to happen if they give state police the order okay, we've got undercover reports that, this guy out here's got 15 guns and he's a veteran, he's refused to turn them in. What's going to happen when they go to try to take the guns, and then let's say the first 100 people turn their guns in. If you got 160 million gun owners and 1% refuse to turn them in, that's 1,600,000 people that are going to fight back. What do you think is going to happen there, Sheriff?
I think that they're going to have a civil war on their hands because I know people well enough. They're going to go bury whatever guns they have. They're going to hide them. They're going to put them, but they're going to put them where they're easy access for them. And they're going to come say, yeah, search my place, take whatever. But when it comes right down to taking it from their hand, it'll never happen. These people will fight back because people will fight over a lot of things, but the number one thing they will fight over is their firearm. They will not, because they know that is their very last line of defense. If you got a guy 60 years old that's a veteran and he's crippled up from his service and what he's done, and that's all his last line of defense, that's what he's going to do. He's going to fight you for it.
So what do you think the social engineers are thinking? I mean, Ron Paul, everybody said what you've said, and then I told Piers Morgan, you're going to start 1776 again, and he spun it like I'm saying I want that. That's the last thing I want, but they're pushing and pushing. I guess they think they're going to be able to initiate this. They're already saying Obama's going to be the new Lincoln, and he'll crush the states. I mean, I think these people are on megalomaniac power trips.
Yes. What it is, it's a bully tactic. And what they're going to do is they're going to bully first, verbally. Then they're going to try and stretch their muscle a little bit to see. Because they think, they got all these trained troops and stuff. But I'll tell you what, there's more people trained here than what we have in our full military. In the United States, there's more people that are trained that shoot, casual shooters, people that, and they're going to fight back. And once, I'll tell you something. Once this started, I've looked at a lot of people here lately and talked to a lot of people. They've got the look in their eye. I've had enough. They're not going to take this too. Our employment is down are up to where people aren't employed. Prices are high. People are thinking, you know what? What do I care? And they go to try to take somebody's gun. They're going to have more than a civil war on their hands. It'll be so much worse than what it ever was before because, and here if you've got, say, just in any part of the United States that you come in and you isolate an area and try to get the guns, the wars are not going to start there, but the American people will come to you. The support that I've got just over the United States from fellow officers, retired officers, veterans, all these people that are coming together right now, they're all willing to fight.
Wow, you've really done your homework. Because what you're saying is absolutely historical, and here's the thing. We don't want this, but they've taken our sovereignty. They say our military's under NATO, UN control. They tell Congress that to their face. Obama shutting down power plants everywhere. Power prices are exploding. To wreck America, he paid to ship General Motors to China, $22 billion. This is economic warfare, to shut us down, to put us on welfare, to domesticate us. And they brag and say that. And Americans know that, and they know everything's been taken from us. Obama said it 5 years ago in a secret meeting with his $1 million donors. He said, they're bitter clingers, but don't worry, I'll get them in the second term. They call us bitter clingers. They hate us because we love God. They hate us, and they've taken everything from us. All we've got's our guns left and our Bibles, and now they're taking our churches, saying the Catholic Church and others are going to have to pay for abortions. These people are crazy.
Yes, they are. And there's not the same blood that runs through them as that runs through the rest of the core of America. It's not the same blood. They'll find out what that color of that blood is because they've showed it before.
That's right. So, again, Sheriff, it sounds like you've really done a lot of historical research. I think of all the police I've interviewed, except for maybe former Sheriff Richard Mack, you are the most informed about history because everything you're saying is exactly how it's going to go down. And these, is there any way to stop it?
No, even, biblically and looking into, a lot of stuff is going to come to pass, but even the stuff that came to pass, they didn't lay down. And does it mean come to pass? Does that mean in our generation or the next year? We're only responsible to take care of ourselves and the next generation. It's the next generation's responsibility to take it there. Everybody's talking about, these different things, the end times and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it could have been end times in the 60s, but people fought back. It could have been in the 70s or 80s, but now we're in 2000. Only God knows the exact time that, he will return.
Wow.
And,
no, it's like Nineveh got a 100-year reprieve. You're right. God helps those that help themselves. He gave us a brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could have, the whole, this could have all been over 1,000 years ago. It could have been over 200 years ago. But he also gives in man the freedom, the freedom and, the desire to do what's right.
Well, I'm in, God bless you, Sheriff. One more segment with you. Jackson County Sheriff Denny Peyman. This is the kind of sheriff we need in every county in this country. Man, when I look at the oily mafia types, the anti-gunners, and their statements they're making about, we'll just shut your gun shop down without a law. We're just going to, I'm going to play some of these clips in the next hour. I can't believe they're moving this fast. Sheriff, what is your gut that their game plan is? We know it's a full-out assault. Homeland Security is now not for al-Qaeda. It's for the American people. They're saying that. It's for conservatives, libertarians. What do you think in your gut is their full game plan and what they're planning?
What it is that I feel is what they're doing now is they're going to see what the American people will tolerate. They're kind of trying to crack the door a little bit. They're going to throw some stuff out. They're throwing stuff out that we're going to balk at. We're going to buck, and they're going to pull back, and they'll say, okay, let's just let's try and find a medium here. We'll give some, you give some, and everybody's going to be happy. What the American people are doing is they're going to give some, and all they're going to do is they're setting the people up to when they kick the door, they can come in and take it all. Because once you've been set up and you will compromise on the Second Amendment, if you will compromise on any of that, then you've compromised on it all. And that's what they're gambling, that we'll compromise. If we don't compromise, they're not going to know what to do then. Because they're gambling that if we compromise, they can get the door cracked enough that they can get in that way. But if we don't let them get in or let them get started, they're not going to know what to do next.
They also run the risk of being too over the top. I mean, I've got clips coming up. I'm sure you're seeing this as well. I know you're busy, but they're on CNBC, CNN, MSNBC saying, quote, our presidents beat Hitler, they can beat the gun owners. That's a Bob Schaefer quote, CBS. No, my grandfathers beat Hitler, not presidents, and certainly not Obama. And they're saying it's like South Africa. That's, embargoing the racist, and gun owners are Klan members. I mean, it's so over the top to say gun owners killed those kids. They're trying to put the guilt on us. I say we get on the offensive and point out they're the ones that made schools victim disarmament zones, because if we don't get on the offensive, we're going to lose it.
Well, what I'm finding in these little like Tea Party groups, liberal groups, patriot groups, what I'm finding is I used to see back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, they're more of the redneck, they're more of the working man, you know what I'm saying? That kind of where it was kind of, they kind of stereotype all these gun owners are all hillbillies,
Country boys.
What I'm seeing now is I'm seeing judges, I'm seeing legislators, I'm seeing educated people. The thing has changed dramatically. You know, you still see a blend of people, but it's an upper. I mean, you're talking people that are in places of power and control that can help and can do something.
You just said it. We've got Congress people, we've got judges, we've got police chiefs, sheriffs. It's a leadership corps, just like leading up to 1775. And the establishment better understand that. There's going to be organized at governmental level resistance to this.
Yes. But what they're not, they're betting that at that level it's going to be taken care of, but it's not. It's still going to take a cross of every American that packs a gun. And just like for the people that don't pack a gun, when this all comes down, they better be standing close to somebody who does, because they're going to need protection too.
Well, look at the economy, the derivatives. We're totally bankrupt by design. The 50 million people on food stamps. All these big cities run by these crime bosses are collapsing. And then when everybody runs to the rural areas, I mean, we're not turning our guns in so we can be gang raped.
Right. Exactly. And just like they're talking about the assault weapons and stuff, I've got one. I've had one. I've had them for years, and I'm going to continue to keep them. Why? No, I don't go out and play with them. It's probably been 2 years since I've even fired some of them. But, I keep them. Why do I keep them? I keep them for my protection. And that's what other people are keeping theirs for protection. You don't turn in your protection.
If you've got 50 people rushing your farmhouse or planning to loot you, you need an AR-15. Do 5 more minutes with us, if you can.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
The new year is a great time to take charge of your health and wellness. Get serious and make a stand with Supernatural Silver. This is a breakthrough in silver technology that is several hundred times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver. Supernatural Silver can be taken orally every day to help fight bacteria, viruses, infections, yeast, and molds. Supernatural Silver is also exceptional for wound care and is highly effective for water purification. It is the #1 choice for thousands of people for immune system support, and it is also a perfect choice for your emergency preparedness. Go to supernaturalsilver.com today and give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Check out our new low prices and like us on Facebook.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
If anybody ask out there why the Republicans' leadership are going along with open borders, gun control, all this stuff, it's because most of the big guys are involved in insider trading, and that's come out, and it's all illegal. So they passed a law making it legal, which you can't really do, saying it's a law making it illegal, but they just go get a ethics board to say it's okay. I mean, it is incredible. The Democrats are the kings of this, but they are a bunch of gangsters. I've studied them. We've put the evidence on here on air. And, criminals don't want people armed. Good people want good people armed because good people know criminals are going to have weapons regardless. Might as well have the good guys with the guns, like the NRA has said. We have the amazing sheriff of Jackson County, Kentucky, Denny Peyman. If you want to find out more about him, jacksoncountykentucky.us and go to the sheriff's department. But, sir, you were telling me, we only got 4 minutes left, about the support you're getting. Talk about that, and then talk about some of the real solutions, because Obama said pro-gun people have given no solutions, which is a lie.
We've given the only solution that's going to work. Because what it is everybody, all down through history, they figure out a way to, from bullying to attacks to whatever, to take what they want. And here's what's been happening here for so long. But what Americans have forgot is how to fight back. We need to teach our teachers how to fight. We need to teach some of our older students how to fight. Somebody comes in your classroom, everybody's taught now to run cover in the corner. It saves half the ammunition. Sometimes you can kill 2 or 3 with one shot. If they were to spread out and to fan out and taught to attack, how many people would come into a classroom? They would only make it through the one classroom. We're going to lose students anyway.
But the nanny state does not ever they don't even let you play dodgeball or tag. They might as well have them line up back to back so one bullet could shoot through 3 people. Maybe that should be what Obama proposes.
Well, that's kind of making the way it sounds. But right now there's 18 states that have passed that they're arming their teachers. The people are starting to figure out, you know what? I can't stand here anymore. I need to fight back for myself and for the people I'm responsible for. And that's what we're pushing here, is to arm teachers to be able to protect our students. They talk about putting officers in the schools. The government has offered that through different grants and stuff. They can't afford that. They don't have the money. States can't afford that. Our county can't afford that.
But I'll guarantee you, like crosswalkers, if you ask retired police to volunteer, say, a week out of each month, you could get 5 or 6, 7 guys per county. They'd all be able to do that as well. But I agree, arming the teachers is the way to go. And that's got to make the gun grabbers mad. That how many states would you say are moving to do that right now?
18.
Wow, that's exciting.
So it's catching on quick. They've advanced, and we know we're actually playing catch up at this point because he has moved in his direction. Now we're having to basically counteract everything. We should have not ever had to counteract. We should have already been there. My dad went to a rural school, but it was big, and he would drive in 15 miles with his mom, who was a teacher, to work. But they would all bring their shotguns and stuff to go shoot at each other's houses and dove hunt and quail hunt or deer hunt. They would all bring their guns to school, and it was a school with over 1,000 people in it. They never had one accident because they were a gun culture. Right. Well, you used to always see a pickup in the 60s and 70s. You used to always see a pickup parked in the parking lot with a gun hanging on a rack so kids could go hunting after school. It wasn't uncommon at all. And they listened to the shootings and stuff then.
Well, I tell you, you are the way forward, my friend. 1776 was a 5,000-year leap for freedom. They're saying it's old. They're wanting to go back to ancient tyranny where only government is armed. Jackson County Sheriff Denny Peyman, sir, we salute you for being a true American. I know you're just doing your duty, but in a world of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, and you are a great example to everyone, and I hope that you'll run for Congress or something, because I'll guarantee you we need you to join Rand Paul in the federal government to protect our republic.
I appreciate that, sir, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to visit with you today.
I'm saying right now, you're drafted, buddy. I don't know if that's what you want, but Kentucky, this guy's a statesman. You draft him. You send him to Washington to protect the Bill of Rights. Sheriff, we'll talk to you again. God bless you.
God bless you, sir.
We can't have a totally armed society.
We'll never get a handgun ban with the Second Amendment as stated.
I don't know. I don't know that we can't.
None of these rights are absolute. None of them.
Senator Dianne Feinstein was the author of the assault weapons ban in 1994.
Professor Koppel, was the 1994 assault weapons ban a sensible and effective means of reducing gun violence?
Based on the Department of Justice study, the answer was no.
The assault weapons ban made sense.
And just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way.
Do they need a bazooka?
No one's taking away all the guns.
No one will be able to be armed. We will take all weapons.
I'd love to see that. In uniform.
I will not take your shotgun away. I will not take your rifle away. I won't take your handgun away.
Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in.